All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we're set to get frame one of Team NZ versus Mick Hill underway. Simon Singleton from New Zealand to break first. So fantastic to see this match coming. We don't want to dwell on it, but obviously it was a massive letdown to have to postpone our New Zealand versus Australia test match at the end of the season. Obviously, a lot of the guys know the background on that. But yeah, fantastic that the guys get their opportunity in the spotlight tonight against arguably one of the greatest players of all time, Mick Hill. So fantastic opportunity this for all these boys who have worked hard all season to make this New Zealand team. And yeah, just a big special thanks to both Mick Hill and Simon here, who's been involved working with Mick to put this event on. Yeah, massive effort, guys, and I know that our New Zealand team players will really appreciate it. So with that said, Simon makes a ball off the break and establishes the set with Reds, and a great looking opportunity here early days. The Reds all looking relatively in play. See a couple of the Reds hampered by the balls with close proximity. Looks like he's moving down towards this red ball near the bulk line early. Obviously that's cut off to the left pocket, so taking the easy opportunity to play it towards the top right of the screen as we look. We've also got this red down here, the bottom right corner of the table, not overly hampered by the yellow, but you just need to be in the right position to take that one on. Similarly, looks like he might go for, there's a red just underneath the black here that if you get too straight on, the black could obstruct it. So I wonder if he's looking to take this one now, run down, take the red on the bottom of the screen as we look at it, setting himself up nicely to pick out the last two. Well, I'm not sure if he's deliberately played for the jaws there. If he has, that's beautiful, using the right left to kick out nicely. Probably knew that he was going to possibly catch a little bit of them and ultimately find himself in that corner with a shot either way. Yep, nice routine looking finish here. I think he'll be taking the red to the centre first. I think the key here is not trying to overscrew or get too straight. You don't need to. Just leave yourself a little thin cut, and the cue ball's tracking nicely back to the centre of the table. As you see there, he didn't even look to the stop shot. Just drop it in, float it around. Probably 2 rails. And just like that, Simon Singleton with a lovely break and run out, making short work of the first frame. Boom, there we go. Team NZ on the board, 1-0 over Mick Hill and the massive home crowd. You know they're going to love that one. So just to start, the boys are looking for. Obviously, Mick won't be too stressed. He's just sat there in the seat and not played a shot. He's been around long enough to know that's just part of the course at this level. We're going to see plenty more of that. And it's probably just going to be a case of saying which team, either Mick or New Zealand, can really stick a few in a row, because 1 or 2 frames difference in a race to 10, no one's too fussed when everybody here is capable of running racks. But sort of once that gap starts opening up to potentially 3 frames or 4 frames, that's when the pressure starts to become a little bit more of a factor. So early doors here, we'll see what happens, and we've got Des Wilcock up to the table next. And another good-looking break. Good break from Des. He's got the balls down, and it looks like he's got options. The fact he's kept the cue ball in the centre of the table is always good. You're just giving yourself 360 degrees of options, whereas if you find yourself trapped on that top rail or that bulk rail, you're very much limiting how many directions you can play shots in. So Des looking good here. Is he leaning towards the yellows? I think it's got that look about it. You could probably go either set here, to be honest, but hopefully that hasn't come out and cut off the yellow to the centre. If so, that's not the best starter. I was just thinking with the yellows, obviously he's got the one yellow sort of surrounded by the reds down the opposite end of the table. It's not a huge problem in itself, but it only does go in the one corner. It's a good long pot from Des to keep the visit going. I do expect them to make those, but still got to be done. And so, yeah, just looking at this yellow down the bottom of the screen as we look, obviously he just needs to get himself over the right side of the table to play that to the the bottom left of the screen there. So that's going to be the key shot. I suspect he might want to play that one. Will he play that one last or second to last? If he's got the angle, he might choose to screw back onto it now. If the angle's not there, he will have to come back and get himself sort of just off straight half ball on the yellow to the middle. I wonder if he might have overscrewed that, but he looks like he might have the angle to just draw straight back. I'm not 100% convinced that was the line he was looking for. Oh, and he's got a little bit much of that. If he's just looking a little bit excited out there, Des. Just playing a little bit quick, and while this, isn't, there's not a huge amount on the line, there's absolutely a huge amount of pressure that comes in with playing a world champion in front of a big crowd, and you're wearing the New Zealand badge on your shirt. So, what's he got? Ooh, so he's made the yellow. I think he was maybe looking for a fuller contact on that red to kind of kill the cue ball and have a shot, unless he was trying to get the cue ball all the way back past the black to shoot into that same corner. I'm not sure. So it looks like he's got the fine cut left. Oh, and he's overcut it. So interesting scenario here. Typically in these rules, if you sink all of your balls and don't finish, you're going to find yourself snookered and handing away balls in hand until the cows come home. Mick being very experienced, I expect him to do exactly that. However, in saying that, with these three reds, in close proximity to that pocket, there is a lot of work for Mick to do, even if he does manage to obtain a ball in hand. You're going to be doing your best to sort of try and chip out, promote one ball at a time while still keeping the black cut off. Very difficult. So, I'm quite curious to see where this frame goes from here. A test of patience from Mick. And then, that's what we've seen here. So he's been quite content to just run the white up the other end of the table, get a red over the bag. I wondered if he might have been more inclined to just nestle tight on one of those reds that he was very close to. Obviously, he did still have to hit a rail after contact, but he has left a potential shot here for Des. It's tricky because it's not natural angle. The middle pocket's covering that, so he's going to have to play a lot of side, but can he find it? Oh, it's got a chance. It's got a chance. Get in there. Shot Des Wilcox. What a shot. Oh, and the crowd love that one. Look at the room erupt. He's getting high fives. Even Mick appreciates that one. Don't get me wrong. I think, Mick could have played a slightly tighter safety in here. Des is absolutely milking that. Mick could have left a slightly tighter safety, but, that was not an easy one. I mean, the gap between those reds was not much more than the width of the cue ball, and the natural angle was cut off by the middle pocket, so he had to play a lot of spin. Really good judgment in terms of getting both the pace and the spin right to find the angle off the rail. So wow, what a shot from Des Wilcox, and a 2-0 lead now to Team NZ over Mick Hill. So fantastic start for the boys. Just get some belief in the match early. So let's see if they can keep it going. We've got Lightning Lily stepping up to the table now. The 2-0 lead breaking us off again, and he's got another ball in. So Team New Zealand off to a hot start, and I'm not sure if we're playing winner breaks here. Sorry, I might just have to double check that. Not sure if we're looking at winner breaks or if it's going to be sort of an alternating thing where the Kiwis break through the first round, then Mick for the second round. We'll see how that pans out, but great opportunity for Adam here on reds. Two red balls in the centre of the table could be blocking each other. I guess the one closest to the yellow is a little bit obstructed, so perhaps he'll be looking to clear the other yellow first, but looks like if he can just kind of punch out off this one, we've got red to the centre. Yeah, nice angle, getting just past straight. Always very important, shots like that. We've got to identify if there's a imaginary line sort of straight from the red to the pocket. There's always one side of that line that we're better off being on, and in this case, Adam needed to get just past that line, and he'd always have a shot. If he come up short of that line, cue ball's running into trouble. So, well judged. I wondered if he might have wanted to get on the one that's tighter to the rail first. I'm not sure if he's got the angle now. Looks like natural angle here is going to take the cue ball in towards the 2 yellows and the black, around the black spot. So not sure if he'll play sort of a bit of a screwy drag shot to try and hold for the red on the bottom of the screen as we look, or if he can just tickle past. Yep. So now that was the shot, and I think here does have to be a little bit careful here because the small white wants to open up on a wider angle off the red. That yellow near the red is actually in play. So Adam may choose to nick really fine and run back out towards the black spot, although there is a narrow gap. What he's looking at, he may look to almost sort of drop kick this yellow off the rail. If he can sort of catch the cushion in the yellow flush, that should kill the cue ball and pop the yellow. And yeah, he's played that nicely. Might have been tempted to play that slightly harder myself, just in case you catch it slightly wrong and get snookered, but no issues there. He's judged that contact perfect. And the only question left really is which pocket he wants to take the black in. Looks like the middle, being the obvious one, is not on, so I think he's got just enough angle. Yeah, stun out, beautiful. I wasn't 100% sure at first if he was a little bit straight on that, but no, just enough angle that he's able to sort of cut it into the near side of the jaw and slide down perfectly for the black. And there you have it, 3-0. What a start from this New Zealand team. Couldn't have scripted it better. And Mick Hill, what's he had? One shot where Des had covered the pocket with the black, and all Mick could do was sort of play a bit of a containing safety. It's the only visit he's had, so it just shows what a great standard of pool we're being treated to this evening. And geez, trying to be neutral here, but no, we love to see that fantastic start from the New Zealand team. And that Simon, Des and Adam, we've had 2 break and runs, and Des was on the cusp of a break and run, so as good as it gets. As good as it gets. So Brother Love, Brent Wells, it's his turn now. It looks like the Kiwis continuing to break, so he'll be absolutely keen to fill his boots with some of the break and run material we're seeing here on display. And as I alluded to at the start, like a couple of frames in a row, a few clearances, it's just part and parcel at this level. I don't think Mick would be too worried, but I think this is quite a key frame here. If Brent can get this one and extend the lead to 4-0, or if Mick can nick his first one on the board and make it 3-1, it's a pretty big difference, a 4-frame buffer versus a 2-frame buffer. So, let's see what happens. And yet again, another good break for Team NZ. Brent's got one, and he's got a great opportunity on yellows. Possibly slightly trickier than a couple of the other run-outs. Oh, and he could be in trouble early. I was just going to say, I think that the previous layouts were slightly more open. Obviously, the yellow on the black spot there is slightly more congested. I'm not sure if he was trying to give that one a little bit more and give that yellow a bit of a pop, but is the cut plant still there? Oh, and he's played that beautifully to keep the turn alive. So nice shot there from Brent. I thought he'd got himself into trouble. I wasn't sure he could continue there. It was going to take a good shot, but he's pulled one out the bag. And so I think the key here is you've just got to remap. You might have had your original plan in mind. You just need to reset and start over sometimes when we get out of shape. Nicely done. Now, what could be tricky here is, while it looks like he's got a few yellows in the centre of the table, he's kind of forced to take this lowest one on the left first, and where that's going to leave him on the next two is not going to be nice natural angles to make them both in the middle. He might just have to do like a sort of just a stun here. Oh, I was wondering if he'd stun and take the yellow down the rail was the shot. I think he's missed a trick there. Obviously he scratched in the middle. It wasn't what he was trying to do, but I think perhaps overplaying that. Brent's a good enough player. Just a little stop shot there. He's got the next yellow up to the top corner. All he needs to do is draw it back 6 inches, and he's got the yellow to the middle for the black to the middle. So perhaps he's just tried to play a more expansive cue ball to give himself a better look on the yellow, and unfortunately it's backfired this time. And geez, Mick will be licking his lips here. He's just been sitting in his seat watching, and this was the Mick Hill exhibition, so I'm not sure he'll appreciate the other boys stealing his limelight. So time to shine, and he's making very short work of these reds. Obviously, Brent had, already potted 5 of the yellows, which always just clears a lot of room, makes it a lot easier. And Mick, before I'm even getting much of a chance to call the shots in the pockets, he's putting the balls in. I'd be a brave man to try and call the shots anyway. So there you have it. One very marginal error from Brent. He was on the verge of making yet another clearance for Team NZ to go 4-0 up. Pretty much, the first mistake we've seen of the whole match, to be honest. And Mick jumps at the opportunity to get his first frame on the board and bring things back to 3-1. And obviously Mick got the break now as well, does he? So potentially brutal for some of the Kiwi boys here, with how the breaks work. You might not even get a shot and get passed up. So brutal stuff, but that's the way we play this game at the top level. It's cutthroat. So yeah, Stevie D up to the table and Mick Hill to break. Wonder what the odds are on Mick breaking and running here. I mean, Steve's at least gotten out of his seat, I guess, to shake hands at least. He's had 2 seconds in the arena, but he'll be itching to get on the table. Obviously, this is a race to 10 or race to 11, sorry, just temporarily forgotten. Race to 11, sorry. So that gives all of the Team NZ players at least 3 bites at the cherry. So even if they do get sort of broken and run on, they will get a couple more opportunities potentially to get back to the table. So it's not just one and done here. So Mick has made a ball. He has taken the yellows and he's played a nice little cannon early on just to develop that yellow. Already, we're just kind of looking towards the end a wee bit. Most of these yellows are on, so it really boils down to which balls do we want to sink last before the black. I feel like nicking in, there's that yellow over the left middle, to me looks like the obvious ball to play last. So I think to me here he's going to be working his way from the top of the screen down to the bottom as we see it. Oh, how's your angle here? He definitely would have been keen to sort of get done down on that bottom rail, work his way back up towards the black spot. He might be a little bit straight, so I'm not sure if this is one he can sort of, just enough angle to punch up and down. Jeez, he's hit that well. I didn't think he had much angle, and I actually don't think he did. I think he's just timed the pants off that to pop it down. And obviously with these brand new Pro Cup balls and this new fine cloth, the table is playing pretty slick. We're already seeing that the guys are not having to put much effort in to travel this white around this fast little table. So yeah, nice shot there from Mick. So I guess you just be trying to find the path back up and down. And what I like there is he's made a point of taking the second rail. One of the worst things that can happen there when you play that shot is you run the white up and down and end up stuck on this rail at the end of the table that he's at now. By playing it that little bit harder and making sure you catch the second rail, you just eliminate that possibility. Played it very confidently, though, to know the exact line you're coming back at that pace. Showing his class and experience there. And here we have it. Another clearance, and this is why, ladies and gentlemen, they call him the Machine. Mick Hill bringing it back. So wow, how quick this game can turn. And I guess it really shows you at this level that a 3-frame margin ain't really no thing. Short work. So yeah, Brent's so close to making this 4-0. One mistake. Mick runs a couple of racks, and now we're 3-2. And so Ryan King, the final member of Team NZ, stepping up to the table. And, big effort from Ryan this year. He's always been a strong player in and around it, but really, really taken steps forward over this last 12 or 24 months, taking out the North Island Super League this year, and also winning a Challenger Series event in the Pro Series, earning his way into the Pro Series. So, great work there from Ryan. And nice to see for him that he's sort of backed it up and carried it on. We all know Paul's the sort of game that there's a lot of guys out here who are good enough to have one big event maybe and knock over some good players, but the key is being able to recreate that on a consistent basis. So credit to Ryan for kicking on. Yeah, well done. So he's got a crack here at the machine. Big step up again. Can he rise up to the occasion? Well, I think if Mick's going to keep breaking and running the way he has the last couple of frames, Ryan might be waiting another turn to get his visit, but not a good shot there from Mick. Is that his first mistake of the match? I'm not sure. He's left that red on to the centre, and he might not have left himself a pot at all here, so I'll be interested to see what he does. Actually had the opportunity to do a coaching lesson with Mick Hill earlier in the day, and one of the standout things for me, for Mick was that he's never chasing the splits and situations like that. I know myself, I would have been thinking, I could face double that red, the red that he could see half of lowest maybe into the opposite middle, and I quite enjoy trying to chase those shots, but for Mick, he's just not even looking or entertaining things like that. He's playing the percentages. If he does very rarely find himself in a position where he doesn't have a shot, he is going to be stubborn and patient, and he's just going to try and shut you out and patiently wait for his opportunity. Got a small bit of a glimpse and an insight to that and how he approaches those sort of situations in games, and very interesting, and I can see why he wins as much as he does. He's very good at that. Oh, but a missed pot. We didn't see that coming, and he's standing there looking at it as well. I don't think he expected to miss that either, and it's the thing, I think on these 6-foot tables, especially with new cloth in the corners, they play slightly more generous. Those ones do have a tendency to slide in, so didn't see that one coming. Not a great opportunity for Ryan, though. Those two yellows he's looking at there, he's rightly addressing them early because the position these balls are in, beautiful shot. Ryan knows that, with the layout of the balls, he ain't winning this frame unless he develops those two yellows. So rightly, he's got to take them on early here. Perhaps against a lesser player, maybe you're not forced to go for it straight away because maybe you might get another visit back to the table. But if Mick misses a ball and gives you a chance when he's got the upper hand, you've got to go for it. And unfortunately, that's a tricky shot there. He's possibly come out of it slightly early if we're being hypercritical, but it's not an easy shot, especially against a 6-time world champ. And if he'd made that one, he'd given himself a great chance to clear the rest of them. So credit to him taking on the tricky double early and giving himself the chance. Hasn't quite come off this time. I think the only thing, let's just mapping this one here. Obviously, this red that he's looking at now could pose problems, just in terms of position if he was leaving it till last. I'm a little bit curious to see which one he wants to play last before the black, but to be honest, with these three here, you can take them in a few different orders and shouldn't be too much trouble. I suspect he will probably use the red that's closest to the black. Maybe he wants to sort of be just off straight on it, and he can sort of screw off the rail round behind underneath it for his last shot. Interesting. I wonder if he's going to pop it out slightly now. Yeah, nicely done. And that's the thing, on a shot like there, it's as long as he doesn't have to be super precise with his contact on that black, as long as he catches it even sort of half ball, it's going to develop it slightly. He's got that one wrong, a little bit loose, but very makeable across the table. Nicely done. And the fact that he chose to develop that black has come back to save him, because it meant he didn't have to do anything special with that last red. All he had to do was make the kick and pot the ball. So I'm sure Mick would admit slightly loose positionally by his incredibly high standards, but he gets the job done anyway. And what looked like a fantastic 3-0 start to New Zealand has evaporated to 3-all. So that's a wrap on the first session. Sorry, not Hill. 3-all after a great start from New Zealand. So stay tuned, and we will be back with the next session shortly.